Okay.
Do you take a finger and put it up your butthole in the shower?
No. Do you?
Good boys.
All right. Kylo.
Welcome to Good Boys.
Welcome to Good Boys. Season 2.
Season 2,
We're back. 2025.
2025. What a terrifying year.
Nothing else has changed except for the year number.
Yeah.
Everything's normal. Everything's cool.
Everything's the same as it always was.
Yeah. We're entering our sophomore year of Good Boys, but I don't think do you know what I'm saying when I say sophomore?
I have no idea. No, that's just
Do you
not a
wanna
word.
guess?
I could get, I mean, I'm guessing because it's season 2, just like the second year of
High
university.
school or college. Like
Oh, okay, both.
high school and college in America both get freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Got it,
And that's
okay.
the 4 years. But what would you call
Well, we'd just be like,
second year?
yeah, we just say, no, it's more random than that. So like your first year of high school is year 7. I know. It's like year 7, year 8, year 9,
Yeah.
all the way to year 12, and then you go to university.
Okay.
Which doesn't make... Well, it does make sense because it's like when you start school, it's year 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you have kindergarten
Yeah.
and preschool?
It's called nursery.
Nursery. Okay.
Just like from the back. Nursery.
Yeah.
It's called nursery. And then we have year 1 when you're like 4. And then it
Okay.
goes all the way up to 12, 13.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I mean,
So,
that makes more sense.
So just year... In this case, we would just be on year 2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So sophomore year. But then I was actually talking with my friends about this weekend. You would call like underclassmen as like a dig frosh because it's like freshman, sophomore. You'd be like, get out of here, frosh. Which is like a really silly thing to say.
Got it. And you'd be like a senior.
Yeah, you'd be a senior and you'd be
And
like, get out of my way, frosh.
Got it. Yeah.
F slur. It's frosh.
Gosh.
But welcome back. So good to be back in beautiful Good Boys fashion. We're matching.
Yeah, I was gonna say nice hoodie.
Yeah.
We didn't plan this. We never plan it, but we always match.
We never plan it. We wear. I think it can't be our skin tones, but we have the same eyes. We both have
Same
beautiful
eyes?
Well, I have hazel, you have green,
Yeah.
which is similar enough.
Totally.
So I assume we look good in similar colors.
Totally. And also, I just don't wear. And I think you're the same. I don't wear super bright colors.
Yeah, no.
Everything's quite like chill and understated.
Earth tones, neutrals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I feel so good to be back.
Me too.
So have you? A lot of time has gone by. Have you been a good boy?
Not once.
Not once. No.
Not once. No, I was thinking about. I'm trying to plan this season. I'm trying to,
okay.
before we sit down on this couch.
Yeah.
Actually think about how I've been a good boy. That's
Okay, I
my-
thought you were going to say how to be a good boy. And I was like, you
Oh.
can't be a good boy for the sake of having something to say. You have to be it for the goodness of your heart.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. No, I was trying to think about how I've been a good boy this week.
Okay.
A friend of mine asked me to go climbing with her, like bouldering.
Bouldering.
And I've never been. And it's just, I didn't think it was my vibe, you know? But anyway, I wanted to be a good friend and go and support her. And so that was like how I was a good boy. I went and had a good time and was very open-minded and hearted. But then I loved it.
Yeah.
And it was the fun. I felt so strong.
Did your forearms hurt?
Yeah, totally.
And
my
your fingers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But I felt
Shit.
so like powerful.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because
And
it's just like raw. I used to go a lot
Yeah.
when I first moved back to New York.
And there's something exhilarating about it that you have like for those that don't know, because I did not know, you have no like strings on you or anything.
Yeah.
You're just like climbing a wall, like legit just climbing a wall.
Yeah.
And I also thought I was going to be a bit scared of heights maybe, but I just like wasn't. So I
Did
just
you
felt
fall?
So, I didn't fall.
Oh,
I like
okay.
jump. I just
okay. I used to go but I like to fall. Like I find
yeah, yeah.
in any sport, like falling, if you know how to fall correct, like to not
Totally.
hurt yourself, is really fun. Because you just like, I've fallen off bouldering before and I just like full back, just like fallen on the foam.
Yeah.
But for some, that feels athletic.
totally.
You
yeah.
know?
And it does.
Yeah.
But like when you like get to the top boulder, I guess, and like hit it, then I would like jump down,
Oh, okay.
you know?
Yeah, that's scary on the ankles.
Yeah, it was great. Also, like, how hot are people that boulder?
I know.
My friend was like, everyone here is hot. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And we go,
Well,
and
it's lesbian central.
100%. There's just like a million hot lesbians in there, just like scaling walls.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The one unfortunate thing,
Tell me.
the shoes. They're so bad.
It's like the equivalent of bowling shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I know why they have to look like that.
Sure.
But it's quite unfortunate.
It's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
But the style of like the people that are really good is fantastic, other than the shoes.
And it's cool to have that like sack of dust.
Yeah.
Like like at your hip.
You
and you're
can,
just like powdering like an Olympic fucking gymnast and you're like
yeah, I did not have a sack of dust on my hip. Like
okay.
that's next level
Yeah,
expertise.
yeah.
I had it just on the side.
Yeah.
And before I started, I would go. But
Yeah.
I was watching people like, you know, put their hand in their little sack mid climb.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's how I was a good boy this week.
I saw this TikTok or reel I think it was a reel actually now. And it was like this lesbian who was like when you go bouldering and it reminds you of your ex non-binary situationship or something, and it's just these compiled clips of this person, like, you know how they're like these weird oblong shapes that you're grabbing onto, and so like one cut is like them grabbing a very phallic like a strap almost like on it, and then the next one is like one of the rigid ones and it's like as if it's like a labia. And they're just like doing these sexual things to and it's like the dykiest thing I've ever seen, and it was so good.
I didn't clock that as I was doing it, but now thank you. Next time
you have
I'll
a good grasp on a nice little shaft.
I'll be like, wow.
Yeah.
Throwback.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
I was just like, I love the lesbian community.
Yeah, totally.
That's good.
So
it was good boy of you to like put yourself out there, try something new.
Try something new with a friend that, you know, really wanted like support and community to go with. And
you gonna go back?
I'm gonna go back.
Cool.
100%. I might even get my own shoes.
Oh yeah?
You know?
Are you gonna get a membership? Or can you just tag along with the friend?
No, you have to. You know what? It's one of those things that like you should get a membership because each time is like super expensive.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I used to go, but I used to sneak in through the back door.
No way.
Because I have a friend who used to like instruct there.
Okay.
And they gave me the passcode to the.
No way.
We should blur out where we said.
We should.
Just a note. Let's blur out the place.
Okay.
But I used to just go in the back. When the weather's better, you have to do the
oh my god, the outdoor one. Yeah.
That's really cool.
P.S. That's the opposite of good boy. Sneaking in the back of.
I'm sorry. I think it's good boy to not spend. I think it's
$157.
What actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because I've been shopping around gyms in my neighborhood and they're so expensive. And if you get bouldering, and it's a full gym too,
right?
And there's like a co-working space, that's actually not that bad.
It's not that bad if you think about Equinox.
Yeah,
like, it's great. It's like killing me slow.
Yeah, interesting. Much to think about.
Much to think about.
I stand by it's good boy, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't go anymore.
So yeah, that's how I was a good boy. How are you a good boy this week?
Yeah, I think I've been, you know, there's a lot to choose from. I've been a really good boy. But something that's like super new. So I went snowboarding this weekend. We went to Vermont with some friends, which I think in itself is pretty good boy to get back up on the mountain. But I've been telling you off mic, but I've been using the men's room like almost exclusively, which is like new in itself. But for the first time I went into the men's room with two of my cis guy friends, so like it wasn't just like going alone with like kind of my head down like at the airport or something. I like went in with them and like they went up to the urinals and like I went into the stall.
So cute.
But like that felt new just because it was like they weren't weird about it, I wasn't weird about it. We kind of just like all went in there, and then like girls we were with went into that one, so like that felt good boy because it's a little scary.
Totally.
And I did it anyway.
And affirming?
Affirming outside of like having to go to the stall. Like I have a joke in my stand-up set about like gender neutral bathrooms and like the fact that there's urinals and stalls. I have to come out as trans or having to take a shit because like if I'm a cis guy and I'm going in the stall, it's because I'm shitting. Mm-hmm. But if I'm a trans guy, it's because I have to sit down.
This is one of the things I hate about going into the men's bathroom is going into the stall, because then everyone's just pooped in there, so it's just generally
everyone's pooping in the girls' toilets too.
Yeah, but not every. It's like guaranteed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let me look back and just say, good boy.
Thank you.
Good boy. I think that's adorable.
Yeah.
You and your two cis.
It was cool. I have controversial opinions about men's versus women's restrooms.
Please.
The first one being, in my personal lived experience, women's restrooms are dirtier than men's restrooms. And I know you and everyone listening is shaking your heads. every person that I know that uses the women's restroom, regardless of what they've got going on, is like squatting, right? Like crouching over the seat as to not be on a public toilet seat, which I get. I personally am a put a toilet paper down before sitting person.
Understood.
Everyone is just freeballing it and just like pissing everywhere on the seat and then leaving it there. And then the tampon is here and the wrapper's there and there's a string of hair like on the toilet seat. In the men's room, they're sitting down, shitting, getting back, like it's
Come on, they're rolling around with their dicks just like free flowing pee
maybe at
everywhere.
the urinal. I'm telling you, like I've collected the data for my experience and it's much cleaner.
Huh.
I will say it's fucking weird that when there's just urinals and there's nothing dividing them, there's no reason for that.
Space. Just getting more into the space.
Yeah, but
You
just
know?
like have a little bit of a divider.
Yeah, totally.
That's
I
like
think
if-
this etiquette. I mean, what do I know? But I believe this etiquette, right? Like you need to just like look at your own dick.
Totally. And I don't even mean in like everyone's looking at each other's dick ways. I just mean like
Just a bit of space.
just a little bit of space, man. I don't know. I think there was this like TikTok filter, but it's so stupid, but it's like one of those like fake games and it's like urinals and it's like, okay, if someone goes here to this urinal and someone's here, it's like a test and it's like,
Where do you
which
go?
urinal are you supposed to go to? And I took it and I got it right. And I was like, I've got
Congratulations.
the etiquette.
You're like, I'm ready.
I'm ready. But that's just my personal experience. I'm still like getting through it of like, I definitely go in there like, and I'm like, head down, don't like make eye contact with like anybody, like just go in. I haven't had any trouble. The one thing that's silly is that like, so when I am on my period, I use tampons. And so the men's room stalls don't have the little like sanitary bin to put your wrappers in and your applicators. So what I do is I go in there and then I put the applicator back in the wrapper and I like tuck it up in my sleeve and then I go and I wash my hands and I like drop
you
it into
drop
the
it out?
yeah. I like look around and I'm like, anybody here? And I like drop it out.
I love
Which
that.
is it reminds me of like in high school being embarrassed to take a tampon out of my backpack and like shoving it up my sleeve.
I was going to say that reminds me of school.
Yeah.
This is the reason, well, lots of reasons. We should talk about it. You're using the men's bathroom across the board, no
Yeah.
matter where you are.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like I like pick and choose. I'm picking and choosing, especially if I'm on my period, I'm not going into that men's room.
Yeah.
At all. I need privacy and I need it to be, I need a little tampon thing.
Yeah.
And I just like,
Yeah.
I'm not as brave as you maybe tucking a tampon up my sleeve.
Yeah. Well, to be clear, it's the applicator. It's not the used tampon. I'm flushing that thing. If it can take men's shits in that pipe, I'm flushing my tampon.
But there's a risk there too. What if the whole toilet overflows and then what are you going to do? You didn't just sprint.
Get out of there.
Yeah. So okay. So if I'm on my period, I'm using the women's.
Mm-hmm.
If I am so recently I went to Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
and it feels the culture's like very binary. There's, there is parts of it that are unsafe for trans people. And if you just looked at me and I didn't speak, you'd probably think I was a guy. So in that instance, for safety, I would go in the,
Can we pause?
please.
Why until you speak? Do you think you have a feminine voice?
I think that like I've been trying to figure out why this is, but for some reason, even when I'm at my I've been with my shirt off, and for those that don't know, I've had top surgery and have scars on my chest, so I have no breasts, and I've been with my shirt off, and people will call me lady. People will be like, "Hey, ladies," when I'm with like my girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And I believe I've been trying to figure out why that is, and the two things that it could be in my mind are either my voice or my lack of facial hair, or
Interesting.
both.
Yeah.
So I just think if I don't speak, what I'm perceived as in my experience is like a young boy, like a 17, 18-year-old
Okay.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly. I
Yeah.
think that's what people think I am.
Yeah.
So then in that case, I will go into the men's and I'll
Yeah.
go into the store.
Okay.
Like in my Equinox gym, it is filled with beautiful, beautiful gay men.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will use the men. I was going to say the gay men. So
The gay bathroom at Equinox.
I'll use the gay bathroom at Equinox. Anyone that's straight, you can't go. So
Yeah.
good luck. So I use the men's bathroom there, and that feels great. I like get changed, and no one gives a fuck, and everyone's like loving it. But I feel like at this point in my like whatever you want to call it, journey, transition, whatever, I'm like picking and choosing based on like safety, comfortability, to not have any sort of interactions. Yeah. So what has made you
It was the switch to starting to get really publicly perceived as a guy. And like, once there's no quantitative thing that I was keeping track of, but I guess like if I went through a whole day or a whole week of like nobody mamming, missing, ladying me, then I'm like, okay, data's showing people are seeing me as a guy. And that for me personally felt like the time to switch. Because in my head, I would rather like, because then it's just looking like I'm a guy going into the women's restroom.
Sure.
And I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. Whereas if I go into the men's room and like maybe someone will clock me, that feels like, okay, what, like, I don't know, it feels like whatever. And I guess that's just what it is like I would feel more out of place going into the women's room than the men's room.
Right. You personally
I feel like someone would grab me and be like, hey, wrong restroom, or like something like that.
And maybe at this point you have like beautiful facial hair and stuff like that. People like cue these
Well,
things.
I have facial hair. I don't know if I'd call it beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Thank you. It's pretty. It's
really
filling
it's
in
really,
now.
really
Well, I
filling in.
haven't shaved in a really long time
it's
because I'm
good.
just letting it rock.
Yeah, I love that.
But I think that was the switch, because for a while it was like women's room, and my reasoning was like, because if somebody had a problem with it, I would at least be able to defend myself. And like, before I was like passing, and I understand I don't 100% pass, but before I was mostly passing, my argument for using the women's room was like, if I get quote unquote caught, or like if someone gives me trouble, I could be like, I'm a woman with short hair. I have a vagina. Want to fucking see it? Like that would be like my defense. But like now I don't think I could do that. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's certainly not like it's not like to affirm myself. I'm not like I'm going in the men's room because it gives me dysphoria to go into the women's room. It's not that. It's just like I'm a guy now.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I don't know how to. I guess I don't have a good explanation for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that too. I had this experience where I was in Liverpool, and to caveat, I worry that like a lot of British people listen to this, and I don't want to affirm and reiterate the stereotype that Liverpool is a rough city. It can be in moments, but anyway, I was in, actually, was it Liverpool or Manchester? One of them, but I was in a bathroom, and for some reason, also these cities are fairly binaried. You know what I mean? Like you're a woman in a bodycon dress, or you're a man in like a shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I felt like, well, out of those two things, I feel like I'm more likely to be a man in a shirt. So I went into the men's restroom, and when I was in there, I was like, I went into the stall, peed, came out, and was like washing my hands next to this like very huge dude who was like clocking me in the mirror, and I felt and was like staring me out, and I thought, I am about to get beat up. You know, like he knows something is like off, and he was like trying to figure it out. He's like, is this a gay man? Is this a woman? Is this, you know what I mean? And it was unsettling him. And I felt my heart rate started to increase, and I was like, oh fuck, this is like a dangerous situation for me. Do you ever, so that has put me off, I think. Now I'm like, if I can use the women's bathroom and no one feel uncomfortable, I'm like almost taking that option so that I feel safer. And have you seen like these little videos where men are walking through the forest and they like do things to make women, if they're like on hikes, and like women are walking towards them, and it's like, what do you do to make them feel comfortable? I feel like I do a bit of that when I go into the women's bathroom. I'm like, I'm like making my voice a little higher and like communicating with people.
Does anyone have a tampon?
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that lipstick shade. Can I box? I can't even do that.
You can't even get it anymore. No, exactly. So I would do that. So then everyone's like, oh, cool. Like, it's a lesbian, or it's like, even it's a trans guy. But I feel like women maybe stereotype, but I haven't had any women be like, you're not allowed in here. You know what I mean?
Well, also, I think important for us to say, most of the issues with, or not even the issues, most of the crazy people worrying about gendered bathrooms and stuff, it's for trans women.
100%.
Like, that's what it is. Like, it's not women looking for like people who look like us. They're like looking for any woman who's like slightly taller than the average woman or has like different bone, because they're attacking cis women who just like happen to be tall or like have
Right.
PCOS. And so that's the other thing, is that like I know that, and I know that the issue is with trans women being in the women's restroom.
Totally.
And for us, it's kind of like,
Yeah, and look, how privileged of me to be like, I'll just like pick and choose, depending on the situation.
I don't think it has to be privileged. I think it's still something that you're thinking about your safety. You had an experience where someone fucking
Totally.
manhandled you and took you out of a restroom, right?
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that that's perfectly valid.
Yeah, but you're right. And do we know what's happening with you're better at this than me in terms of like legal stuff?
Yeah.
And what laws are being put in place?
I don't know what like laws are being put in place. Like right now, it's just a lot of like Congress people talking about it and like how it pertains to to like trans, like Sarah McBride, like
Right.
the actual like elected leaders and like what bathrooms they use. But we'll see. I mean, day one, for those listening, we're going to be releasing these, but we're recording this on January 21st. So day one of Trumpness, executive order right off the bat, there's 2 genders.
Yeah.
It's so funny. My mom called me, was like, oh, like one of the first things he said, because I'm not listening to that fucking man speak. So she was like, one of the first things he said was like, there's only 2 genders. I was like, thank God I picked one, which is like so much love and solidarity to my non-binary siblings out there and stuff, because that
100%.
is just so fucking sucks. But it's also the rhetoric of like, oh, there's only 2 genders. And I'm like, oh, it's not explicitly it's so funny, because that specific sentence, like there's only 2 genders, is not inherently anti-trans, because it's like, yeah, there's trans,
Totally.
it's like
He's
anti
almost like slightly
non-binary.
missed. He's almost like slightly missed the point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
Which I
also
don't
just
think he
factually and
understands.
scientifically
Yeah, it's just-
incorrect, but
whatever.
yeah, the bathrooms, and then we'll see where I get with like urinals, because right now I'm like, again, personally, like I have a lot of friends who do the STP, and like
Yeah.
for me, I think that like I'm thinking about it the same way I think about when I was using a Diva cup, where I'm like, I gotta wash this thing like in
Right.
the public restroom sink.
Well, I think have you used a packer that you can STP with?
I've never used a packer, and I've never used. So no.
So no, okay.
No.
I feel
And
like
I've
we
never
should-
even used the thing that they make for like people who go to camping or
Like
festivals.
sheepies.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we should get a couple and try
Yeah.
it. Like I've tried a bunch of STPs.
Mm-hmm.
One, I really like peeing standing up. It like feels.
Yeah.
I struggle sometimes to use the word affirming, because maybe it's a good blanket word for these things, but
Yeah.
I just like it. Like
Yeah.
I just like to pee standing up.
Yeah.
And if I could pee in a urinal, I think I would. My worry is that like these things are not. They're not 100%
Like perfected.
So, you can get really good. Also, there's a firstly, you can get really, really good ones for sure. And I can put a few links in our episode if people care to know which ones I use. But you have to do this thing where, and maybe this isn't everyone's experience and it's just me and I just like pee really hard, but you have to do this thing where you like you almost like have to like hold your bladder and like drip it out in a very slow way so that it doesn't overflow like the cup part of the STP.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
piss full steam.
That's what I'm
like,
saying. And I think
yeah.
I'm so used to, as being socialized as a
Yeah.
woman, like sat down on the toilet and just
And
like
just letting
letting
it
it
rip.
rip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now I'm like stood up. I'm like clamped. I have like what are these called? Like Kegel muscles or something?
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like clamped together and I'm like slowly like opening to like
Yeah.
let this thing drip out. And it just feels precarious. And
Yeah.
then I'd say 6 times out of 10, a little bit of it drips down my leg. So then I'm in a situation where, I'm in a urinal, there's pee down my pants, which
Yeah.
like isn't sexy. And
I'm
it's
sure,
uncomfortable.
but listen, I'm sure cis men are pissing on themselves too.
I'm sure. But so that's what I was going to say to you is that if you manage to get to a situation where, okay, you've peed through the STP, there's none down your leg, success, then I think you're just supposed to shake it. And then I think you're just supposed to like take a bit of pee in your boxes.
I'm not there yet. Respect to those who are.
Yeah.
Listen, pee's like whatever. Like
Totally. Maybe this
I'm
is why
not there yet.
trans men should just be more hydrated so it's just vast majority water. in your boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm not personally there yet, and I'm not hating so much like doing the stall thing, but maybe that'll run out eventually, and like maybe I'll want to move to it. I'm a little intimidated by Packers and by association STPs. I keep going online, and I'm like think that I've picked out the Packer and I'm gonna buy it, and then I like chicken out.
Talk to me about that.
There's so many options, and I don't know which one. And I think the answer is like get a couple different ones, but I'm like, I would even when I'm like, so I'm sitting here and I'm wearing men's pants, so I've got this like room in my crotch, and I'm like, I'd love to see a little dick there, like
Yeah.
that'd be fun. But I get like nervous, and I'm like, what size like dick should I have? Like,
Totally.
am I cut or uncut? I'm like, it's so funny to like think about it, and I'm like, I don't know, like my parents circumcised my or didn't circumcise my brother, so like, would I get an uncut dick? You know, like to be historically accurate. Like, I don't know, like what I should do, and then there's ones that I know you have where like it's like pack and play, which I think is a hilarious thing to say, because like as someone who's had nieces and nephews for like over a decade, pack and play is like the thing that parents bring to like
really?
Yeah, a pack and play for like parents and children is like kind of not quite a crib, but like it's quite literally you pack it and then you can open it up, and it's like this like gated play area for the kids, for like babies and toddlers. And so first of all, that's so funny that that's called that, but the one that you put the rod in and so you can fuck with it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess I just get nervous, and I'm like, do I want one that looks like this? And I don't want to commit to a dick. I don't know what it.
Here's the thing. Here's my advice, which you didn't ask for. I think you just go low bar. Do you know what I mean? So like, because the pack and play ones and things like, we're talking like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Big decisions. You don't even know if you want. And by the way, the one that I play with, it was supposed to be a pack and play, but it's too big. So then I can't like walk around with it all day because it's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels uncomfortable. Whereas like the packers that like are not STP, just a packer, you can just, you know, they're less expensive. Mm-hmm. You can't really choose a cut or uncut one. So that's, I mean,
all the ones I look at, they're giving you options.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't actually pull. Like, there's no functionality on it, right? It's just like how it looks.
Just the,
okay, sure.
It's just like the flaccid. Yeah.
But listen, I'll send you a few options. You should just because you should just find out first if it's something that you even want to walk around with.
Yeah.
All day.
I definitely think I want something there.
Yeah. I love it. It feels
because you know what
great.
I realized? I like it when I can see someo's little bulge.
Yeah.
Like I think it's aesthetically pleasing.
Totally.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Totally.
So I don't know.
My favorite picture that has ever been taken of me is the one that I posted on Instagram, and it's the most pornographic thing. Yeah, of my boxes with my packer in.
Yeah,
and like
but you can also see like your head in that photo. Like you can see.
Yeah, I did note that because this was my that packer that is in there is more of a. Firstly, the one I'm wearing, I think in that picture is an STP, so it has a bit of like structure to it, so that the pee can like come out and it's not flopping around. Mm-hmm. But that also means that there's a bit of there's some head there through my Well, the other thing to take into consideration when I'm buying it is like there's ones where like you basically have like a waistband that you put it onto, and then there's other ones where like you have to buy specific underwear to put it in, and like for them.com. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
But like I want one that I can just put in my existing box. I don't want to have to buy a bunch of new packing boxers.
But you have some trad boxers, right?
I have some, yeah.
Yeah.
But like the vast majority of my boxers are just like men's boxers that have the pouch.
Maybe this is controversial and people are going to be like, no, Kylo. But I mean now, and this isn't a plug, this is the truth. I wear the trad boxers every single day.
Yeah.
But before then, I just put the packer in my boxers.
Yeah, in the pouch or just in front of your
just threw it in.
stuff. Yeah. We'll see.
You know, and my boxes are like tight enough that it stayed.
Yeah.
It makes me like aroused though.
Well, like that's the thing I'm afraid of, because this thing is like
totally
a gust of wind.
100%. And so when you're not using a pouch and it's against your junk, like it's very frictiony.
Yeah.
So it creates a situation.
Yeah.
But I don't even mind that. I sort of like walking around.
Listen, I don't mind being horny, but like, I do have one more thing to say about the bathrooms.
Okay, great.
Listen, I'll buy a couple, and I'll see which ones I'll try them on, and I'll model them and wear them for a day or whatever.
Great.
But the last thing I want to say about the bathrooms is, and this is not news to anybody, men are not washing their hands. Straight up not washing their hands.
Even out of the
Like, I feel
cubicle?
like, yeah, cubicle, the stall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cubicle's funny because that's like in an office.
Oh.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I guess I do. I guess I use it for both.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong.
But wait, they're taking.
They're not washing their. I feel
Motti,
like I feel like a fucking pansy for like I feel like they're gonna like see me at the sink and call me the F slur because I'm taking care of my sanitary needs.
By F slur,
They're
do you
not.
mean frosh?
Frosh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, nice soap, Frosh."
Listen, let me ask you this directly. You see the vast majority of men coming out of the stall after taking a shit and not washing their hands.
100% correct.
Incorrect.
But what I think is, what do you mean incorrect? Do you think they're washing?
They're not. They're taking a shit and not washing their hands.
Yes, the vast majority. Also, they're touching their pissy penis and not washing their hands.
Totally, and that's also unacceptable. But for me, I'm like, you're taking a shit and wiping yourself and not washing your hands.
I'm not saying every single one, the vast majority. Where like I feel like a weirdo for being at the sink.
Any division between sexuality and or gender that you've seen?
Hold on.
So like gay guys, I
Oh,
can't
I don't
imagine
know.
a beautiful.
I don't think I've ever been in a public men's room with a gay guy.
No way.
Like clockable, like that I've been aware of.
I was gonna say sniffies.com.
It's like mostly like airport. I feel like I've been in an airport a million times since I started using the men's room, but no, I can't. At first I thought you were gonna like ask for like all the demos, and I'm like, I'm not like clocking what race is washing their hands. Although I could probably tell you it's probably mostly white people that are, because we know that our sanitation is not up to standards.
Is that because you also don't wash your legs?
I wash my legs. I swear to God, I wash my legs and my ass crack. I even wash between my toes.
Oh my God, I have a question. Do you wash your butthole in the shower?
Yes.
But like, do you?
I just said I did.
No, but listen. Do you properly wash it? Do you take a finger?
I'll tell.
Listen, just
Hold
listen to
on,
what I'm saying real quick.
Okay.
Do you take a finger and put it up your butthole in the shower?
No. Do you?
Listen.
Do you? No. Do you?
Yes.
I don't think you're supposed to do that. I'll tell you what I do.
Not fully up, but this is, listen, because I was talking to Em about this for listeners that haven't listened, my girlfriend. And
Fiance.
sorry, fiance. Oh, sorry. She is also my girlfriend.
I know.
Sorry, fiance. Do you feel like you're not engaged? I was like, sometimes you feel like a wanker being like, this is my fiance.
Are you kidding me?
know?
As soon as I get engaged, fiance.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I don't know how it came up, but because I'm a very clean boy. I'm an overly clean boy.
Yeah.
So
Get that finger away from it.
Listen, it doesn't go right up there. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm a very clean boy. I take
You give
sometimes
yourself a little rim job.
I take multiple showers a day.
Yeah.
Often. I'm like constantly showering.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure every part of me is clean, you know? Mm-hmm. My legs, my back,
Yeah.
my butthole.
But why do you have to put your finger in?
It doesn't need to go all the way in, but there's like if you just let water run across it, you think that's
not what I would love to explain to you how I clean my asshole, but you're insisting on talking about putting your finger up your asshole.
Please.
Listen, when I do body wash, it's like like doing like everything, and then I wash that off my hands and I get fresh. And what it is this.
Okay, so for those that can't see,
sorry, it's like a karate chop.
Okay,
it's a karate chop form hand.
Okay,
and then what I do is one leg goes up on the tub so that I.
You think I'm doing weird shit right now?
You're putting your finger up your ass.
Listen, one leg goes up on the tub. What are you, a female porn star? What are you doing?
Listen, one leg goes up on the tub, and then I take my detachable shower head.
Oh my God.
And I full blast, I bidet it. I basically like bidet myself.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty fair way to clean my asshole without having to penetrate myself.
Listen, you said the word penetrate. I didn't say that. I didn't say full fit. Like, this is what Em said to me. Em was like, wait, how much of your finger?
Yeah, how much of your finger?
Not a lot. Not a lot. Just enough. Just to make sure that it's clean.
But here's my thing. I'm not understanding how inserting your finger is cleaning it. Are you like putting a bunch of like how is that cleaning it?
There's soap everywhere, right? There's like soap. There's soap
how is
between
it
my
cleaning
cheeks.
it? You're not like how does that clean your butthole?
Because there's soap running down my ass crack, and then I use my hand and fingers to clean my butt. Here's the thing. I think if we did a survey specifically for gay men, you think they're not cleaning they're probably douching right?
They're douching. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But in lieu of a douche, what are people using?
I think they're doing what I'm kind of doing and like shower head.
Yeah, I think it's probably not as extreme as you think.
Listen,
I'm not putting a whole finger.
I don't mean to be judging you, and if it works, listen, different strokes for different folks. If quite literally, if it's not working, if it works for you and that makes you feel clean, then I think do that.
I just want to be clean. Also, it's not like I'm doing. You'd think I'd be doing anal all the time the way I'm doing this. I'm not. I just want to be. I just have a thing where I want to be as clean as possible.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway,
anything ever come out with?
No, because I'm doing it. I'm very clean.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you pull back your clitoral hood?
Oh my god! What are you talking about?
Do I
pull back my clitoral hood?
Yeah, maybe now because I have like the bottom growth. Yeah, because
no, I don't do that.
You don't know. Sometimes like there'll be like a little tiny piece of toilet paper I didn't know was in there. So I'll like pull it back and spray that thing too.
No, I mean I will just like I will blast the shower to like
Yeah.
Also, you shouldn't be putting like soap on your like vulva and stuff.
I'm
right?
not. It's just water, like to get it off. Because with bottom growth, like I'm truly like pulling this thing back.
No way. Is that where you're at right now? We need to move on to tea time. P.S. I'm saying right now, this episode is going behind the fucking paywall. Okay, like not everybody is hearing.
People need to hear this.
People
also,
don't
we need to
hear.
survey. We need the data.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right. Well,
let's move on.
My last question about it.
Okay.
Did someone teach you to do that, or is that something you came up with on your own?
I just came up. I'm very innovative.
Yeah.
And I just came up with this by myself.
Okay, cool.
I'm very creative.
Yeah.
No one taught me to do that. I just figured that like I want every part of me to be super clean.
Totally.
Also, when if I am being intimate with someone, I want to feel free. I want to make I just want to feel
totally.
And that's But I realize now and I only realized that, I'm 35 years old. I only just realized this last week because Em was like, wait, what? What are you? She was like, what are you doing? I was like, yeah, not loads, but a little bit. And she was like, how much? Like, I need, how much are you doing this?
Yeah. Would you ever douche for real? Like with like a proper douche?
Yeah, I guess the summary of this conversation is making me think that's probably what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what you should. I think if it's working for you, it's working for you.
You try packing and I'll try douching and we'll just report back.
Okay, great.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, no worries.
I know that it was
Thanks
probably
for sharing
really,
about the
really
toilet
vulnerable
paper on your
in my clitoral hood.
Well,
I also, just so you know, I also spray it up into the hole too. I bidet the whole
situation.
The whole situation.
Yeah.
Especially, anyway, no, that was too gross. I'm not going to say that. Especially when I'm on my period.
Sure.
If I spray that thing directly up, it's like it gets all the clots out.
No way.
And they'll just like dump onto this. I have a very intense period.
Okay.
Really heavy flow, really blood clotty.
Got it.
And so if I spray it like just literal like blobs of blood clot just at the bottom of the shower.
I can't think of a time when that has occurred for me.
I'm telling you, like my period is like I can use a super ultra tampon for 1 hour before I bleed through it. Like that's how intense my period is.
Mine's pretty heavy, but maybe not as heavy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Okie dokie. Should we check in to see who in the news is being a good boy?
Yes, let's do that.
All right.
mean, barely anybody, I'm sure.
Truly, yeah.
Here's my headline. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against the New York Times could hinge on an emoji. Okay,
yeah. Tell me about this.
So, you know about the lawsuit, right?
I do.
And the council lawsuit.
I know the complaint and the lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay, so Justin Baldoni's team are accused of putting a smear campaign against what's her name?
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively, of course. And so Blake submitted a text message proving that they had engineered this smear campaign, and the text message said something along the lines of. It was a link to an article about her, and one of his team says something like, "Oh, good job, I set this up," And she submitted that, which looks very incriminating off the bat.
Yeah.
But at the end of that sentence was an upside down smiley face emoji. And Justin saying, if you take the emoji out of it, then it looks serious. But actually, that emoji means that it's a joke and it's sarcasm and it's like not true. So what do you think about that?
I thought that I had seen that Blake's team altered a lot of the text message screenshots anyway. And so in Justin's lawsuit, like that's part of the lawsuit is like, here's the real screenshots.
Correct.
Like these have been doctored. There's a lot of controversy of how like I know me and M disagree. Like we use the upside down emoji differently.
I do too. So tell me how you use it. Cause I think I use it differently from M as well.
She uses it as a positive like smiley face, but just as a different way of a smiley face. I use it like I would use the upside down smiley face if I let's say I'm texting Britt and I'm like, just missed my train and the next one's not for 30 minutes. Upside down smile. It's kind of like smiling through the pain. Like,
Totally.
like fuck. Like
Yeah.
that's how I use it.
I think I use it somewhere in between. I agree with Justin Baldoni in this case that like, for me, it's like a little bit of sarcasm or a little bit of like, I certainly don't use it how M uses it. We have to pull her up on that.
Yeah.
But I use it like, yeah, I'm trying to think. I wouldn't use it in that case that you said it. I would use it like something like, yeah, maybe I would actually. It'd be like, just got soaked in the rain.
Yeah, like
upside down smiley face, you know?
Yeah.
Like, dope, you know? I know it's a very complex case.
Yeah.
But in this case, I sort of agree that like that face, that emoji is important.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
it
agree.
just feels sarcastic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it feels sarcastic. I think that it's also just like, why have a paper trail? And like, I have so many feelings about this case, and I'm sure none of them are correct, but I'm just like, can I tell you what I feel about this?
Please.
Fuck all of them. I think they're all like, I think that Blake Lively, and I've been watching a lot of stuff from like lawyers and specifically sexual harassment case lawyers and like all of this stuff, and like I don't want to speak out of turn and be one of those people who were like fucking shitting on Amber Heard when she was trying to get justice for being abused. Like I don't want it to be that vibes, but like I think that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are like wealth hoarders, and they're like some of the most powerful people in like Hollywood, and I know they've abused that before. And I used to really like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, but I'm like, I think the whole thing is shit. I think the movie never should have been made. I think like it had its controversy to begin with because of how it portrays survivors of abuse and like abusive relationships and like Colleen Hoover, whatever. I've learned so much of this. I've talked to friends, and most people are on Justin's side.
I know.
Specifically because, listen, I watched this TikTok and take that as value, whatever, but it was from a sexual harassment lawyer. And she's like, in order for sexual harassment to be present and valid, there has to be a power imbalance, and that's not happening here.
Yeah, this was going to be... Sorry.
Well, her whole claim is that she was powerless, but she got her version of the movie over the director and the person who owns the rights to the book, to the story. How powerless was she?
Totally.
And like the thing with like asking about her weight, like I don't think anybody was fat shaming anyone. He has the evidence of like he has a bad back, and he was asking the trainer if he could lift her weight for the thing. Do you know about this part?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And like she's telling people she rewrote scenes, and then on the red carpet she's saying Ryan Reynolds rewrote scenes, and it's like it's a whole mess. I don't think I care for any parties involved.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I'm like, this is rich people's I'm like,
I know.
this is just like rich, powerful people's troubles. Like,
I know. The biggest thing for me though is that like also believe women. Absolutely.
totally.
At all times.
Yeah.
But I agree that like you feel like such a powerful woman. And I've seen little clips before any of this happened. I saw like little behind the scenes clips, and there's one where she is basically directing him, which by the way she shouldn't be, because she's not a director, but she's like talking to him, and she says something like, you need to pull me in like this, and she like
I've seen that.
pulls him into her body. And it just, I would watch that video, and that doesn't seem to me like someone that feels nervous or isn't in a position of power, you know. So I agree with you on that. My very controversial view on all of this is that I've since watched the movie and I liked it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which like, and when I read before any of the controversy and I read why Justin made it and the concept behind it, you know, not all movies turn out perfectly. And look, was it a perfect, amazing movie that I'm going to rave about? No, but it was a fine movie. Like I watched it on the plane, like I didn't, you know, and I was like, it's a little chick flicky thing with like some deep sort of undertones, and the moral is sort of there, and everyone tried their best, and it's fine. It's one of those things that I'm like, how has it turned into this though?
Yeah.
Feels crazy. And I agree with you.
Well, like what she came on as there's also the things of like her like over managing the wardrobe department, and I know as a producer, because she was a producer, and like I know that you technically can be doing that stuff, but it's like
also this stuff sort of happens a lot. Like even I'm a fucking no-name actor, but even on set, you know, they will ask my opinion.
Okay, yeah.
Right, to see like what I mean, they will have like lots of different things ready for me, and I've had very fortunate experiences on set, but they will see what I'm comfortable in, what I like, what I don't like, what I think of the character.
Yeah.
Do I think that these match my idea of the character and things like that?
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem too out of turn for me, but it is just one of those things that I just can't imagine Blake Lively's going to any set at this point in her career and not having some sort of control of what's happening.
Yeah.
I just think she does.
Yeah.
And especially given Ryan as well. You know?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm like hesitant. I'm not gonna, I don't want to go on record of like taking any side, because there's also like the details of like, he was talking about her dead dad on set,
I saw that, and
like,
I was like, dude,
and like the porn he watches, and like
totally.
sexual escape, like that's the stuff that I'm like, okay, that's really weird.
Totally.
But I just think this is a case where like, I don't know, like, you know, when like the like when like popular people or like really hot people like have drama going on, and I'm just like, shh. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to feel empathetic to really anyone, and I feel horrible saying that, but nothing, whatever. We'll find out in due time, I'm sure.
You know what it is too? There's so much going on in the world that's so traumatic.
That's
and
the
so
thing. I'm just like,
and then I'm like, $200 million lawsuit, $400 million, and I'm just like, guys, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just like, duke it, like whatever. Like, I hope the justice system does its job, and whoever was wronged is wronged. But it sounds like a couple different people were being bullies and whatever. It is always like sketchy of like some like of a cis man who like rides feminism as
totally.
like it's a little griftery.
Totally.
Whatever, but
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think like my last point on this is, and maybe this is a damaging point, I hope not, but that I just find in these things, we're asking the justice system to say yes or no, black or white. And mostly in these cases, there's just a massive gray area.
Yeah.
So like probably he said some weird ass shit that he
Yeah.
shouldn't have fucking said, because I'm sure she would make that up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Also, you're a director on set. You do have a certain amount of power.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do that. Don't talk about your sexual escapades.
Yeah.
Don't talk about a dead dad. Like, don't cross any boundaries. Just be respectful.
Yeah.
That stands. And, you know, I'm sure he's done some shit, and I'm sure she exerted some power or changed some, you know, her team then, if not her, like changed some text messages or did whatever. And it's probably an amalgamation of the two, and everyone should just probably sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because it's also like, what's like annoying and unprofessional versus like what's illegal.
Totally.
That's also the thing.
And what's sexual harassment and what makes you feel uncomfortable. Those things are different. I'm not saying you should feel, by the way, in any workspace, you should never feel uncomfortable. Yeah. So that's completely unacceptable.
Of course.
But did he sexually assault you? What was it sexual? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and we need to make distinctions between those things, to your point, for legality and safety and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it unravels. I hope
so we
people
can't
can be
give a good
normal
boy.
about
We
it.
didn't give a good boy or a bad boy. Our paddles are on their way too.
My thing is just like, for me, it's bad boy just because it's like, it's a bunch of rich people with millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Totally.
That doesn't mean that just because you're rich, you should be subject to sexual harassment, but it's kind of just like, oh my God, all for this fucking movie where a florist's name is Lily
like
Blossom Bloom.
Totally. Which was like fine. I mean, look, I was really annoyed because I like enjoyed it a certain amount.
Yeah.
I was on the plane like,
I haven't watched
cute.
it yet, but I don't know if I will. But okay. So my Headline is Walgreens says, and this is really Walgreens CEO says locking up products to prevent shoplifting hurts sales. So I have
That is
literally so
fucking
many opinions
funny.
about this. Yeah. So this was specifically the Walgreens CEO recently said it. I don't know what the context was, but was like, oh yeah, like doing all of that actually hurt retail sales. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit.
Exactly.
I go to a Walgreens and I need toothpaste. First of all, the entire thing is racist because when they started doing it, especially Target, it was all of the black hair products and the black skin products. And
Totally.
that's where it started because they're like fucking racist.
Yep.
And so first of all, have hated it for years as soon as it started. I go to the Walgreens in my neighborhood. I need toothpaste. I have to click a button.
I know.
Someone has to come. I go and I need to get toilet paper. And you know what they do now is they have a little piece of paper that is where the toilet paper would be. It's a piece of paper that says the type of toilet paper, and you have to click a button and ask them to get it from the back.
Are you kidding?
And like, not to say anything, I live on the Upper East Side. I'm like what is every single thing? Every single my pimple patches that I want to get are behind a security thing. And I feel so bad for the people who work there because they're just fucking chasing a ping, like being summoned every 5 seconds. I feel like a dick standing there clicking a button and being like, and then having this person follow me around the store all day, clicking different buttons. It's an insane thing. Of course it hurts sales. And it forces me to like buy shit online that I would have happily gone to the store to buy.
Yeah.
Of course it's hurting retail sales. People can't get things. Also, half of the buttons don't work.
I'm so surprised that they've only just come to this realization. I mean, when you were setting up, you would know this, surely.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how many people were truly stealing from the store for them to do this, for them to enact this across the board.
I've been stealing from CVS since I was 11, so.
Okay, there you go.
But like eyeliner. But it's also like, listen, like there's like the no chase policy. Also, Target has like insane. I know we're talking about Walgreens for this, but like Target has like this crazy security system where they have like facial recognition, and they will not stop you on your first shoplift and they will not stop you on your second, but I think it's like the third or fourth.
No way.
They have like facial and then they'll get you so that it's like compounded evidence and multiple issues.
Fucked. But also, I don't trust this facial recognition bullshit.
It
does not.
Also, it's going to racially profile.
Exactly. It does not work on people of color, and I don't trust any of it. And I don't. I'm usually pretty relaxed across the board, but I don't give permission. For me, I'm going into a Target shopping. I don't. I do not give you permission to scan my fucking face.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What
if they scanned your face and they were like, "Man," then you'd like it.
They're like, "Sir,
yeah,
are you shopping?" I'll be like, "Stop it, you flirt."
All right, here's my pockets.
Yeah.
But listen, like places like Costco and Lowe's and like the big item stores, like you can run out of there with a grill because like a barbecue grill because they have a no chase policy. So if you just run out of, listen, it's steal from corporations. I don't care. Like steal from large corporations. It can't have that much of a hit.
No, they've shot themselves in the foot here by locking everything up. Also, human psychology when you're shopping, especially in real life shopping in a store like that, you have to be able to grab, you have to be able to look. Yeah. Also, you know what stresses me out most about that when I go into a Walgreens is that they'll say to me, well, which moisturizer do you want?
Yeah.
And then I have to make this snap decision, and I almost can't make it without touching it and looking at the thing. And so then I'm like, and I'm usually not happy with my purchase.
Yeah.
But then I'm too scared to be like, hey, I didn't actually want this one. Can I switch it out? Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I'd be so curious I would love to talk to somebody who works at a place like that and see how much they hate it. Or if maybe they don't, I don't know, maybe they don't mind it. But like the thing with me is also like tampons where I have to like call a man over and like be like ultra plus for my big fucking pussy, please. It's just like, it's insane and like clear. Whatever. I think it's an insane thing. I wonder, let's see. Oh no, it's just a screenshot. I don't know if that means that they're going to stop doing that.
It must do.
And then you're asking like a minimum wage employee to like tackle somebody to the ground if they steal.
Yeah, exactly.
And like risk their life or like physical safety for a fucking toothpaste.
Yeah, no. This is a complete side note, but for anyone that's interested, the Dwayne Reed on Prince and Lafayette in New York is haunted.
Why did you say this?
It just reminded me because the last time I was there, I can just feel it. Okay. I need you to go in and
I'm sure it's haunted.
It's haunted.
Yeah.
I need you to go in and go downstairs specifically and check that out. Speaking of Dwayne Reed,
that's where I pick up my testosterone.
Tea time.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Okay, updates. A lot more facial hair.
Yep.
Bottom growth. Still building up my muscle. Voice is deeper, which is exciting. And my hairline, I think, is starting to like...
No, it's not.
Just like you see that on the... like, just in the... like how that is starting to go. Different? That's what I keep asking myself, but it feels a little different. But I don't mind it because it's that the hairline that men have, so whatever. Yeah. But I'm also just like, so like tea time is like specifically the tea things, but there's so many like adjacent things that get affected. So I'm trying to like work on my nutritional diet, not diet as in like diet to lose weight, but diet to like have the correct vitamins in my body.
Nice.
So I recently did my like checkup and all my testosterone levels are good, but I was deficient in my HDLs, which is like your
cholesterol.
Yeah,
good cholesterol,
which is like it's not like my cholesterol is too high because that's actually what they fear for people on tea. So it's like my whatever HDL levels were like a little bit low, and then my B12 and my vitamin D. But I'm working with a nutritionist, which is exciting. That comes with my insurance, and she's helping me like fit good and healthy proteins and like just nutritional stuff, and like working with my really picky weird eating, which is nice.
That's great.
Because what my PCP said to me was like, I gained since starting tea, I've gained 20 pounds, and some of that is fat and some of that is muscle. And like, I'm totally fine with that, but it is a big bodily change. Like that's a 20 pounds in 8 months, you know, is not nothing. That's not like nothing. And so, I've been like, I've been so much like, I want to bulk up and like whatever. So I've been like upping my protein and like have not been doing it in the most responsible way where like I'm like upping my protein on days that aren't gym days. And so I'm not exerting that protein. So it's just sitting on me. So that's like, affecting the weight gain. And so I'm just like learning how to get good protein into like meals I'm already liking and stuff like that. And so that's been really cool. So like, I think awesome. I also like started my Wellbutrin again, which is an antidepressant because, and I think it works in with the tea just because like I'm a little bit more irritable these days.
Okay.
It's just easier to get me to my point than it used to be. It's not like I'm flying off the handle, but I think I get to my breaking point a little bit quicker. And so I want to be like, I remember when I used to be on Wellbutrin, it just really leveled me out.
Nice.
So I'm checking that out too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And also to give you, I know you said you put on 20 pounds and you're fine with it. But also in case you feel a way about it, I think you just get hungrier on tea. I mean, protein aside, you're hungrier, right?
Yeah, totally.
And so you want to eat more and you should like listen to your body. So
yeah.
But that's cool that you're doing nutrition stuff. I similarly am trying to balance out my body as I do this. I got my T levels tested and the highest possible point that you can get your T to be as a woman, I'm doing air quotes, as a born female, it's at the highest point that they will go. So, and to be honest, I can feel that I'm starting to tip over into like, because my, like tip over into sort of like man range of testosterone. But River, stop. I can feel that. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so the reason I can feel that is because my muscles, I feel like before I was eating protein, working out, and I would get this like pump after the gym, and then it would just like go down slowly, and then I would pump, over a few days. And then literally just last week, I just feel like I got the pump and it just stayed.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I think
you're maintaining the muscle.
Exactly.
The pump is real.
Totally.
Immediately after the workout.
Yeah, exactly. And now I feel like it's staying, which is really cool. And my sex drive continues to just grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, totally.
Which we spoke about this. I know we put a social post out, but there's all the navigations of that and, feeling slightly different and in my body. But in general, feeling good, going up nice and slowly and trying to balance myself out and feeling good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yay.
And you look great.
Thank you. I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything feels awesome. The one thing I'm like waiting to hit is like the T acne, and it hasn't. Knock on wood,
It's
not. And I don't mean to say this to anybody who has acne or T acne, but I had like I never had acne, and then I got adult acne when I was 22.
Right.
Cystic acne, where it was so painful.
Oh, God.
I had to go on like not even for cosmetic reasons. It just like my face would be throbbing if I like brushed a shirt against this side of my face. It would like genuinely hurt. And so just to say, when I say that, it's because like I think if it did come back, it would be in that cystic way, and I don't want to be in that pain again.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's that.
100%.
Yeah.
I've had a little bit of change in my like skin. What I'm guessing is like skin pH or like skin.
Yeah, it gets thicker and a little bit. It's not so baby smooth anymore.
Yes, exactly. I'm feeling a little bit of that. So, but we'll see. Nothing crazy has happened yet.
Okay,
But
cool. Well,
exciting.
we'll check back in next time and see some more exciting stuff.
Yeah, can't wait.
And you'll have your. What do you? Oh, you'll douche, and I'll
douche.
and I'll pack.
I promise. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, good boy, Kylo.
Go boy, Motti. Thanks.